Ball, ball, ball.
So what are we talking about today? Bokeh, baby. Bokeh balls. Bokeh, schmoka, out of focus background. Is it buttery smooth? Or is it choppy and distracting? So let's find out together. Stay tuned, I'll be back in just a sec.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
Camera Talk with Dr. Scott. All right, welcome to another episode here at Camera Talk. This is Modesty Photography, and what we're really looking at today is bokeh, baby.
Sweet, sweet bokeh.
Bokeh. That's something that everybody likes to talk about. It's been a favorite of portrait photographers for a long time now. You know, there's various ways to go about achieving the desired bokeh that you're looking for, which now, of course, for a definition, you know, bokeh is a Japanese term derived from a description of the out of focus background in a photograph. So when people refer to bokeh, I know many people they use bokeh in a pretty broad term. They say bokeh is the out of focus background, but it's not. The out of focus background is the out of focus background. Now the quality of that out of focus background is measured in terms of bokeh. You know, whether it's a smooth bokeh, whether it's a creamy bokeh,
rich, smooth, buttery bokeh,
whether it's a distracting bokeh, whether it's a swirly bokeh. And many different lenses out there achieve the desired effect that the photographer is after in regards to that bokeh, the quality of that out of focus background. I've got a few lenses here with me today. They're vintage lenses because, you know, that's what modesty photography is all about, is, you know, again, saving you money and looking at getting the best quality bang for the buck, so to speak. So sure, there's plenty of modern lenses out there today that can also achieve some great quality out of focus background, but that's not the focus of this channel. So we're looking at a variety of lenses today, and there's many more. You know, I have a quite extensive selection of lenses here in my collection that achieve some outstanding out of focus background, and I've chosen a few here just to example, and I'll be providing some photographic samples. Some will be mine, some I'm just going to, you know, post anyway, even though they're, you know, found on Instagram or on Google Images or something else. But I just want to use them as samples to show you the effects of these, because it's very time consuming for me to go out and shoot with all these different lenses to show you. The first one that I'm going to talk about, which is actually on my Sony right now, is the Yashinon, and it's a Yashinon 55mm 1.7. It's the auto Yashinon. You know, it renders some pretty nice out of focus background, kind of melts the background away, so to speak. I took some pictures of my son just this morning, and yesterday he turned 16 weeks old, so that's 4 months. And you know, I got him, you know, for those with babies, you know all about tummy time, right? Child has to spend a certain amount of time on their tummy, working on those neck muscles, and eventually they'll get up and start crawling or whatnot, but they have to start with the tummy anyway. And previously, Dylan, his name is, was not very thrilled with having to spend time on his tummy. You know, he would do it, you know, because we've been practicing with him for a few weeks, and, you know, he would spend a few minutes on his tummy and then didn't like it and would start complaining, you know, so we'd have to turn him over. But just this week we put him on his tummy, and he's actually enjoying it. So he's got some smiles, and, you know, he's not that he's being able to move anywhere yet, but still. Anyway, it gave me some opportunities this morning to, you know, get down at bed level and get some nice shots of him with my auto chin on here. So I'm going to post those right now for you to see. Now with the rest of the lenses that I have here, you know, I have, you know, some of the more famous ones, of course, are the Takamars. You know, I have the Super Takamar and the Super Multi-Coated Takamar. You know, just different years of manufacture. But the Takamars are also, you know, very, very famous or well known for their bokeh too, their out of focus background and the quality, the butter smoothness of that. For those who, you know, also watch other YouTube channels, there's a particular one out there. If you're into photography, I'm sure you've heard of him. The Angry Photographer, Ken. He did a number of tests on the M42 mount, and the Auto Chinon actually was one of the top choices of his as well. But the number one winner was one of the lenses that I also have here, which is the Auto Yashinon, and it's a 50mm f2.
This is the lens. This is my pick for the absolute best bleepin' friggin' bleepity bleepity beep M42 mount lens. Resolution, incredible. Color saturation, incredible. Bokeh, incredible. The construction on it, absolutely. Why, it's an f2. It can have really good bokeh at f2. Oh, yes, girlfriend, it does.
And as he states, you know, a lot of photographers figure that f2 isn't fast enough, so how could it possibly be the best with the quality of bokeh? But if you use it and you take some shots with it, you'd kind of see what he was getting at with that. And again, I'll post some pictures of that. And these are, you know, the top two. You know, this one and the Chinon that he chose were Japanese lenses, and this is the Auto Yashinon, and it's in centimeters instead of millimeters, so it's a 5cm f2, and it's a great little lens for being small. It's very heavy. It's very very solidly constructed. Moving on with just some random selections here. I have Meyer Optic Görlitz. This is a 50mm 2.9 actually is where this one falls in. It's a super small, little tiny little lens, but this one is famous for the under the right conditions, of course, bokeh balls, and very soap bubble, if you've heard that phrase before. And again, I'll show you some samples of photographs using this particular lens. So it's very famous for the soap bubble bokeh in the background. So it requires obviously lights or some kind of reflection from the sun, whether it's off water or you know, dew or raindrops in the background. So again, we'll be looking at this. Another one of Ken's, actually before I move on from Ken, another one of Ken's big picks for the quality of bokeh is another Japanese lens here. This one's the Auto Rikenon, and it's a 55mm 1.4. And again, I agree with him that this is a great lens that produces some very nice out of focus background. So the quality, you know, the bokeh is very highly rated in this particular lens as well.
Absolute best after much testing. Bubble bokeh, high saturation, great sharpness lens.
It's also a radioactive lens. the thorium doped back element can turn brown or a golden yellowish color over time. So again, with the use of my IKEA lens here in a few days, and underneath that, and it clears right up. So it takes care of that. So you can see my other video regarding the use of the lamp that I have here. Looking at swirly bokeh, we talked about that one. Swirly bokeh. I have the Carl Zeiss Jenna. Ice, baby. This is the Biotar 58 millimeter f2. Again, and it's a lens that produces what they refer to as swirly bokeh. Now that only happens under, again, certain conditions. The distance between you and the subject, and then the background distance between the subject and whatever is in the background. Trees and leaves and things like that tend to be the best type of background to be able to experience that swirly bokeh. Now, of course, this lens is old as 1955 or 1953, something like that. So it's a very, very old lens, but it's again, good German quality.
I see nothing.
Same with the other Carl Zeiss sample that I'm going to talk about too, is the Pankolar. This is a 50 millimeter 1.8. Speaking of German lenses, the Pentagon 50 1.8 is another one that's kind of highly sought after for its bokeh. The quality of the out of focus background on these German lenses is highly sought after by a lot of photographers. So those are my German ones. And now, speaking of the Carl Zeiss Biotar, the Helios 44 is the Russian copy of the Biotar, and it's again a 58 millimeter f2, and same thing. It's known for its swirly bokeh. One of the problems with a lot of the Russian lenses, though, is things like oil on the aperture blades, to which I have some here, and I'm going to actually create another video in the future of how to clean your aperture blades. So I purposely left these ones oily so I could use this as a subject for my videos. And then moving on to longer focal lengths, they of course are going to be, not all of them of course, but a lot of them do produce a nice soft buttery out of focus background. And my favorite is, or one of my favorites anyway, is the Tamron 90 millimeter 2.5. Now this is the older model. This is the BB AR MC, multi-coated, and it is again very sought after for its it's a 52B is the actual model for this, for its ability to push the background out of focus in such a nice way that it creates a very soothing bokeh. And it's also the other great feature about this particular lens is it's super sharp as well.
That's sharp.
And again, for something that's 30, 40 years old, it's again, great condition, built like a tank, and can produce some pretty wonderful bokeh. Now, the longest that I usually shoot with is,
That's what she said.
the 135. So I have Canon 135. I have a Konica 135, Carl Zeiss 135, Nikon 135. What else? Mamiya 135. I forget what else other ones I have back there. Vivitar, I have a 135. So 135s again are another one because it's a longer focal length. It's easier to throw the background out of focus because of the compression, you know, the distance between the subject and the background and the focal length. So anyway, that is kind of really all I want to say about bokeh. You know, it's, as I said, it's you know, sought after, especially for portrait shooters. Now those of landscape obviously are not interested in this video at all. Don't care. You know, because they're looking for sharpness in their lenses so that they can get everything in the landscape, everything in the picture in focus, versus portrait shooters, which is more my cup of tea. You know, I want the focus in on the face of my subject and the eyes, and the rest of the background I want to kind of melt away. So that basically you can, you know, with a good lens like any of these ones, you can basically shoot a portrait session really anywhere. It could be in a parking lot, you know, it could be inside of a building, it could be anywhere, and you can blow out that background so it really doesn't matter what it is. It won't be distracting. So with that said too, the word distracting, there are lenses out there that aren't very good. They don't produce very good quality bokeh.
You suck!
And but I'm not going to get into that, because what I'm interested in is the good quality bokeh. So these are just some of the samples of the lenses that do produce that that quality of bokeh. So that's what I have for you this week. There's plenty of other stuff on the internet that you can read about bokeh, but it's, you know, you're not guaranteed to get it with every lens. But it's, you know, it's something to keep in mind that, you know, when you are taking portraiture sessions, and I tend to like mine.
Oh, there you go. You've got your cream and your sugar now.
With natural light, outside or inside. I like window light, things like this. Always keep in mind the background, not just the subject that you have, but the background that you're the environment that you're shooting in. And unless you want an environmental shot, so you want the background to you know, be part of the picture. Other than that, you're probably looking to blow out that background. So therefore, these lenses are great to be able to do that. So again, that's all I have for you this week. You know, I hope to see you again next week. Don't forget to subscribe, and like my videos, because YouTube likes that.
Hit the like button if you like this video. Smash it. That's something that you're into 2020 style.
And other than that, we will talk to you later. So this is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott, Modesty Photography, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great week.
Here I am, Vietnam.